Council, regular session, Monday, December 14th, 2020, 6 p.m. Anamosa Library Learning Center, and also via Zoom. 1.0 roll call.
Crump,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Lockhart,
Here.
Zumba,
Here.
Stout,
Here.
and Capron.
Here.
2.0 Pledge of Allegiance.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rebecca, for everyone that is joining us virtually, some may be new, could you please give them a rundown of how to prompt the council if they would like to speak?
Absolutely. So you can do it one of two ways. If you know how to raise your hand in the meeting, you can do that. For those who are joining on a laptop or computer, you can find that by clicking on the participants button, and then on the right-hand side of the screen, there should be an option called raise your hand. You would just click on that. The other option is that you can just send me a quick chat letting me know that you'd like to speak on a topic. If anybody joins us with a cell phone, I will at that point share how to raise their hand that way.
Thank you, Rebecca. With some of the council members joining virtually this evening, again, I would ask that we do a roll vote for all of this evening. With that, 3.0, approval of agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Kay, second by Alan to approve the agenda before us this evening. Any other discussion, request for modification?
Capron,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Lockhart,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Crump.
Yes.
Motion to approve the agenda carried unanimous. 4.0, motion to approve the minutes from the following meetings. 4.1, November 23rd, 2020, regular council meeting.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Alan, second by John. Is there any request for amendments? No?
Smith,
Yes.
Lockhart,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Motion to approve the minutes as submitted, carried unanimous. 5.0, public hearings. 5.1, public hearing on proposal to enter into loan agreement number 1 in a principal amount not to exceed $250,000. At this time, I will open the public hearing. Have you had any inquiries?
I have not received any verbal or written comments.
There's no further discussion for council or from the public. I would request a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Kay, second by Galen to close the public hearing.
Crump,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Motion to close carried unanimous. 5.2, public hearing on proposal to enter into loan agreement number 2 in a principal amount not to exceed $700,000. I will open the public hearing. No council discussion for public inquiries. I will request motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
A motion by John, second by Jeff to close the public hearing.
Smith,
Yes.
Mockart,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Motion to close carries unanimous. 5.3, public hearing on proposal to enter into loan agreement number 3 in a principal amount not to exceed $700,000. I will open the public hearing. There's not any council discussion or public inquiry. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Move to close. Second.
A motion by Jeff, second by Rich to close the public hearing.
Crump,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Mockart,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Motion to close carried unanimous. 5.4, public hearing on proposal to enter into an essential purpose loan agreement in a principal amount not to exceed $100,000. I'll open the public hearing. Not hearing any council discussion, public comment. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close. Second.
A motion by Rich, second by Galen to close the public hearing.
Mockart,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Motion to close carried unanimously. 5.5, resolution taking additional action on proposals to enter into loan agreements and combining loan agreements.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Kay, second by Rich. Any further discussion from council on this matter? Any public comment? Beth, will you conduct the roll?
Smith,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Mockart,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Motion to approve, carried unanimous. 5.6, public hearing on proposed development agreement with Blue Track Incorporated. I will open the public hearing. No council discussion. Any public comment? I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Rich, second by John.
Crump,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Mockart,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Motion to close carried unanimous. 5.7, resolution approving development agreement with Blue Track Incorporated authorizing annual appropriation tax increment payment and pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payment of the agreement.
Move to approve.
Second.
Sorry, was that Rich, that motion?
Yes.
Thanks, Rich. We have a motion by Rich, second by Kay to approve. Further council discussion? Any public comment? Beth, would you conduct the roll vote?
Crump,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Mockart,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Motion carried unanimous. 5.8, public hearing on proposed development agreement with Scale Tech Limited. I will open the public hearing. There's no council discussion or public comments. Entertain a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Kay, second by Allen to close the public hearing.
Crump,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Mockart,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Motion carried unanimous. 5.9, resolution approving development agreement with Scale Tech Limited, authorizing annual appropriation tax increment payment and pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payment of the agreement.
Move to approve.
A motion by Jeff, second by Allen. Any further council discussion? Any public comment? Beth, conduct the roll call.
Zumba,
Yes.
Mockart,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Motion carried unanimous. 6.0, proclamations, none. 7.0, old business. 7.1, engineers progress updates for the Flow Basin, Sycamore Street, and the US 151 grade separation. I believe we have Lindsey Beeman and Tim Wallace with Snyder and Associates.
Yes, I've just unmuted them.
All right, everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Good evening, Tim.
Uh,
Thanks for joining
Yeah,
us.
good evening. Yeah, thanks for letting us be a part of tonight. So Lindsay and I had put together engineer progress update on the few projects that we're involved with. Our goal is from here on out to make this a regular thing, once a month, kind of keep everybody updated on progress on any projects that we're doing for you guys. I guess with that being said, I didn't really have much to present to you tonight. Just plan on just opening it up to you guys for questions on the documents that we provided for you for tonight.
Does the council have any questions? Let's break this down on the Sycamore Street project.
On the project costs there, your final total there, how accurate is that, or is that just sort of a question of fluctuation one way or the other?
Yeah, I mean, it's about as accurate as we can at this stage. I mean, we're just, going based off aerial, based on kind of a site visit out there. We ran some preliminary contours. So it's a rough estimate, but it's our opinion on what the project will cost.
On that site map, I see there's a street going west. From what I can tell right now, I'm not sure if it's going to nowhere, but it looks like it is for the time being. Is that a necessity to do that during this time, or can we do that later on?
Are you talking,
The 150.
so 151,
I'm referring to the
Old Duke Road?
151 project, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's completely up to you guys. I think the biggest thing for this project is, for you guys, what is your goal for doing this project? Is it to provide access from the north now that Old Dubuque Road is closed? Is it to provide a roadway for them to access off of US 151? Is it to provide options for development? There is actually okay, so you got you're referring to the map that was in the application. Is that what you're referring to?
It says down at the very bottom, it says Old Dubuque Road realignment. And I'm just looking at this one street that you've got going west, kind of to nowhere right now.
Yeah, and what we did is we took the concept that was provided to us, way in the beginning, and that's kind of what we based our scope off of. I guess to answer your question in shorthand, is it needed? No, it's definitely not needed. I mean, it's up to you guys as the council on, what your goal with this project is. Is it to spur development to the west? Is it to provide an access from the north?
I mean, I think ideally do all those things with the one project is the kind of thought. I mean, that would tie in the west over there by like Dakota, Adco, and that area, with the west side, the 151, and the east side.
Okay.
Well, could we do this in stages? Get the initial north-south road in and then stage off of that?
Absolutely. I mean, the only thing is, like, projects, they only get more expensive as time goes on, but we're talking about a pretty big project here. I totally get wanting to see where we can break this off. I think that would be, a good idea to help cut costs, is definitely cutting it off at that west leg. I guess to follow up with that, would you want drainage improvements in place, or would you plan on taking care of that with the future project as well?
Well, I would, if it was me, I would like to see whatever we do, we've got it in place for the future to tie in without too much disturbance. So get as much done going forward, but at the same time, kind of scale it back so we can expand off of what we do.
Yep. Okay.
Now, when you reference phase 1 and phase 2, do you have a visual, or do you have kind of verbally what phase 1 and phase 2 would consist of? As far as
so phase 1 would just be the drainage improvements. So the 2 box culverts on the west end of the project, it's where we have that creek there and the runoff from the fields, and then all of the earthwork. So due to this site having a lot of earthwork involved, it's pretty hilly out there, a lot of grade change. we do recommend, since there will be high fill locations, we're gonna have to bring in a lot of dirt. Recommend doing that ahead of construction, so then that will allow the soil to settle before we put concrete on top of it. I definitely recommend doing that in 2 phases, regardless of what is chosen.
Okay. So phase one is basically all the drainage and earthwork, and phase two would be everything else, the cement, the overpass, the bulk of it.
Yep, correct.
There's plenty of room for us to start expanding along the north-south. And it'd be nice to see that sort of fill in and then start pushing out west possibly. So I think maybe that one west leg, we might be able to shorten it down, maybe go out maybe 100 yards or something and stop.
Yeah. I guess could that be broken down too, like options as far as, doing nothing, like Alan says, 100 yards, or what the difference to connecting that road as far as is feasible, and just kind of see real money what we're talking. I mean, if it's, ends up being not that much more, well, where's the point where it seems silly to not do it now? Well, that's the one option, but just kind of have it, in front of us as maybe an add-on or an optional type thing.
Yeah, so you're asking to stop short of kind of the culvert construction. Is that what you're more or less thinking, or you're thinking further than that?
Where's the culvert at in the picture?
Oh, sorry. Let me make sure I pull up what.
It would be down where them trees or
Yeah, where
everything
the
is.
ditch
on-
is.
Yeah, it's where that heavy brush is, way west.
There's a creek through there, right? So you'd want to.
Yep.
I could see the advantage of wanting to get the road and that at least over the creek.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Is there a way to not do the overpass for initially and somehow in another way gain access to 130th Street? By going up to like J&P and going across and then coming down?
So you're talking about coming from town. Let's say this Old Dubuque Parham Road extension is built. They would go north on that and then use that JP access onto 151 and then back down to 130th.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Yeah. I mean,
okay, they
Yeah.
already, once they go up the frontage road, they can bring 151 back down and do a crossover on 130th.
Right. I understand.
Because
So in other words, we could maybe not do the overpass initially.
yeah, I mean, that's definitely an option to consider. I will say, if cost is the big thing in mind, I mean, the bridge is, it's, I have it broken down to about 2.4 million. That is the bulk of the cost. I mean, there's a lot of money involved with the construction of that bridge overpass.
Is it going to be less expensive to put that overpass in during this project rather than coming in and putting it in later?
Well,
I think if you can always lump things together, it's always going to be cheaper. The sooner you can do it, it's always going to be cheaper. But those are definitely options to consider.
I guess my concern though is if it doesn't get done now, it's gonna be one of those things. It could be 10 years. It's gonna get forgot about, and we're hearing it. It's fresh. I don't know. I think we just need to. There's not only safety advantages here, but also the future development too. So.
Well, and I've got something I noticed this morning that kind of was quite shocking. This overpass is going to have a way for people to walk across it or ride their bikes. I saw a girl come down our street and go through our back lot, climb over the fence across the road and then climb over the other fence to the, probably heading for school. I would much rather see them walking on something like that than taking a chance running across the highway like that.
And that was a big part of it. I know there was talks of, not only having access over the overpass, but kind of a walking bike trail for kids, which, there's a lot of kids over in that area.
Yeah, there is.
That's going to be a draw for, people looking at relocating Anamosa. They got nice access for their kids to get to school. That's definitely going to be a perk. So I think we got to look at it that way too. There's a recent quote that I think is appropriate that it said, if we're not willing to invest in ourselves, how are we going to expect anybody else to invest in ourselves? So I don't want, I'm all for saving money, but I don't want to see us get too cheap on this either.
No, but then we also have to take into consideration the cap as far as what the city is capable of borrowing. I'm not exactly sure what our cap is. I think it's
Just
Yeah.
under $12 million.
just under 12 million. This is
You're-
we're
This
gonna
is
have to
gonna
make sure
max
that
it.
it doesn't pinch us in a way that we can't do other things that need to be done too. That's the only reason I brought up this westbound street too.
Well, and that was the only reason I brought up the perhaps not doing the bridge initially is because of the amount of, we just can't, we have a cap. We can only spend so much, and we don't want to put ourselves in a position where
Okay.
we have no options.
Okay. I'm either your microphone is too far away or your batteries may have died because we didn't hear that very well.
I just wasn't talking to the microphone. Better now?
A little bit, but
Okay.
The other thing we need to take into consideration is the public is gonna wanna know what they're gonna get hit up for this too, because there's gonna be a tax increase.
Well, Tim, that west leg that comes out of the roundabout, is there any minimum distance from the roundabout that the street could come to a dead end at this time?
I mean, we can definitely stop it like right at that west leg of the roundabout. I mean, I would recommend that we just put like some sort of concrete barrier or just something just to prevent traffic from utilizing that west leg. But yeah, you can just cut it off right there.
Do you have visibility to what, as it's proposed to go across the creek, what just that portion would cost?
I
Overall
don't.
scheme of the project, it would not be a significant amount.
Yeah, I'd have to run some numbers for you.
And go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, shoot, there's not a scale. Yeah, in order to get something accurate, I'd want to run some numbers for you.
And to follow, I guess, with what Kay has mentioned too, one of the selling points for this project was the east-west connectivity, that you could divert that traffic off of a direct entrance from 151. So, the schools, the business sector, public that the group had been in contact with was very much favored that. To take it off, you would have to extend the east leg up to around the old J&P, the new Boomerang site. That is through private property. So you would have to purchase that further. And there's been no discussion about that at this point. That
Yeah,
would be
I
good mention of that future development that I think that property owner would be giving consideration. So it would come at a very heavy price tag.
we just lost Rod's mic, so you should probably change the batteries in it. rods, Mike, I mean.
I think doing the overpass is, we've got to do that. I mean, we closed the intersection and it's causing inconvenience, but you know, the public was told there'll be inconvenience, but this is coming. I feel like to close it down and then kind of essentially go back on our word and not do the overpass, that's, to me, that would be doing a disservice to the town. I mean, if there's something to cut, I feel like maybe that west leg of the roundabout. But other than that, I really feel like we need to proceed.
Well, and that overpass isn't gonna occur for, what is it, Tim? It takes about 2 to 3 years for the dirt to settle? Is that right?
It's just going to be a 1 year.
1 year
And then
settlement?
and then we'll follow that. So let's say we'll let the project in November of next year. So 2022 would be the earthwork portion of the project, or phase 1, and then the following year would be phase 2, would be the roadway improvements and everything.
So this thing wouldn't be done and open for use even for like 3 years, because phase 1 be complete fall 2022, and then the actual cement and overpass and that would be 23, correct?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if it would go into the spring of next year. To be honest with you, it's a big project.
Yeah.
Beth, does the amount that we can become indebted change as the years change? Does it go up like a percent every year?
It's 5% of our taxable valuations. So
And-
depending on how valuations change, that changes our 5%.
Okay, Beth, I got a question for you. So like we've got 2 new, like for sure we've got like Blue Track and Scale Tech coming eventually. Obviously it's all residential, commercial, everything. Is that correct?
Correct, but with those 2, you're not going to get tax increment money because you've made the TIP agreement. So you
Yep.
don't count them
Okay.
because you're giving them the money back.
Yep. No, I get that. I'm just,
So anytime you do a TIP agreement, you aren't going to count that.
okay. So it's all taxable properties less any tip type agreements.
Well, you can count it in your debt amount, but you're not going to get any money from it. You're going to give them the money back, so you shouldn't necessarily count it as
Okay.
you're going to be using it to pay it back, or they're not going to be contributing to the payback.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of good businesses to move into the city, but we're not going to be able to use them right away. That's the problem.
You're right, we will not see that tax base growth from it.
It's
But by
it
bringing
grows
in
slowly per year.
businesses with the employees, you have their earnings that trickle into the community. You hope that they reside here. So now they are paying property tax, whether it's in an existing structure or
Mhm.
something new. There is a lot of downstream, even though we're giving up this.
Yeah. You gotta look long term. I mean, they're gonna be spending their money at local businesses, restaurants. You hope they have kids in school. The schools get so much per head. So I mean, you gotta think big picture.
But I understand, what everyone is.
Well, the downtown revitalization should help a lot. I'd really like to see some businesses and some more restaurants or something go down there, give people a reason to go downtown.
As a council, we've raised a lot of very good questions this evening. I'm not short, but I would like to open up to some public inquiry, as they may be able to show us a different color to this. Bryce, I know you've been part of this really from the onset of that group that met. Could you add anything to this?
Did that mic
Hey.
get turned on? There's a button towards the bottom. It's a little tiny gray button.
That work?
Say that again.
Hello.
It might be working. Is it right up against your mouth?
Now it is.
There we
Okay.
go.
I can hear you.
That's weird. So, a few notes on the project. I guess there's probably a couple, three different scenarios that the project brings into play. One, and the first one is the safety of the project, which.
Hey, Bryce, can you speak up a little bit, please?
Can we give him Andy Rich's mic?
Here, use this one.
Thank you.
Oh, try that again.
Mike, is that better?
That's better.
Yeah, just be careful for that one. Try not to speak too closely into it because that one can fritz out.
Man, there's a lot of rules. Okay, how's that work?
Better.
Not very good. So, all right, so a few things going through as we've been going through this. Like I say, number one's safety. Kind of reiterate a few of the things. When we started this endeavor, well, I guess 10 years ago we started this endeavor, but it was the continued accidents and then the most recent accident that brought us to this point. So safety has been the big concern. There was multiple options on the table of how to do this back when this was all being discussed. And so this is where everyone kind of as a community, we had a great community come together between business people, the school, council, just a really, probably one of the most positive community efforts we had coming together on the design when this came together. As we started out looking at just bringing a frontage road along 151 and making a straight shot up through there. And then Derek came up with a lot of this idea, and then we had some different input on it too, to kind of, keep building on the continuity part of it, and thus coming to where we're at with it. As far as the design where we're at and breaking it down, basically, I feel it's pretty much of utmost importance that the overpass does get done with the project for multiple reasons, for safety and connectivity. The other reason is, and this is more of a personal business side to me, but as I own the land where the roundabout's going to be going, and the amount of land that we lose bringing that roundabout out to the middle and then building the approach going up to the bridge. If for some reason that bridge would not come together, that 40-acre field basically kind of you lose so much of it. We lose all the highway frontage here with the bridge, but if there wasn't a bridge and the connectivity and the betterment of the community from our side, it'd be hard economically to have any value out of that property after that point. So that's on a personal note when we were looking at this, that we felt the bridge needed to go in and that connectivity to, justify the design so that it didn't damage the future of the development in that area. On a positive note, this is the scary point of any project when you're looking at funding and designing it. But to just reiterate some of the stuff we've got going on, we've got a lot of forethought in the council in the city right now. Obviously, it's been going through with this project, and it's a big number of a project. So in being involved with most of the stuff that's been going on in the area out there, I see a lot. I think a lot of people see it. It's just hard when you're sitting there looking at numbers and trying to make the best decisions for the community. So right now, we have got the foundation in for the Blue Track project that you guys just worked with the TIF agreement approved for. Randy with Blue Track made his decision between 4 of our neighboring communities and us because we were the only town that he felt that he was looking at that had a forward-thinking council at the time. And it was because of the intersection project. After he signed up, he told me that that was the reason, is because the community is thinking about building forward. Scale Tech has had offers all the way from Madison, Des Moines, if not farther. And they wanted to stay hometown roots, but they have a very big company going on. And they looked at this project as far as a forward thinking. They're looking at the schools, the connectivity, because they're looking at bringing on 40 to 50 people over the next 5-10 years of high level jobs. And so they're looking at the schools, the connectivity, the community. We've moved into town with Boomerang. We employ 125. We're looking to grow another 20 this year and continuing. And you've got a business that's pretty solidly looking to be moving into the old Bennett property that's going to be bringing 150 jobs in the next couple of years to town. We are out of houses currently out at the Meadow Ridge development. The last 2, one closes Wednesday, one closes in January. We are in the process of building one custom built home. Dad's in the process of building another custom built home out there on Chamber Drive or on Country Club Court. We're speculating we're building 3 buildings, but 6 condo units up there on Chamber Drive. I got 3 more spec houses that we just started, and I wish they were up, they'd be sold. And these are, I got one couple, the one that's closing Wednesday is moving back to the area from Des Moines. The other one's out of town. Most of the people moving out there, I'd say 75% of them are coming in from out of the area. Our downtown right now, you've got, we got the facade grant, which is kudos to, council, Derek, Jacob started that, and Beth has been working a lot finishing it with him. You got that coming downtown. In the last 2 years, since we kind of, as a community, kind of started trying to make some stuff happen down there. It's just stuff that I know we got. Jenny King has come in and set up an office and a business down there. We got a Chamber and Economic Development filled a storefront down there at Twisted Pear where we got that building. Then we got the Vendor Village that filled those 2 spots. There's a couple other businesses, and I know this is horrible. I just don't remember names so well, but we've got a couple other storefronts we filled. You drive downtown here tonight during the winter, and Leanna Boone and some others, between the storefronts that are empty yet, it's actually a really cool looking Main Street right now, driving it downtown. We've got a sense of community that's kind of coming together. Plus we've brought in, 4 businesses now. We just closed on Raritan's today, the old Raritan's building. Dan and I, Dan did most work. I kind of come up with the sign, but we remodeled that whole lower level, reopened it up, turned it into just an open area, and that got bought. And she's actually, the lady that's buying that is actually going to live in the upstairs apartment herself. She's a Anamosa native, but she's been living in Chicago and wants to come back to hometown. And she has a little idea of a storefront business she wants to do down there too in her part-time. So it's hard to see when everything's going on and the numbers are big, but the actions that have gone on in the last couple of years, when you look at small towns across the community, and you got COVID this year, but don't forget the number, and the reason people are doing stuff is because there's positivity coming out of the room here and forward thinking. Like I say, Randy Wood, there's towns better suited at the current, in this 2020 current environment for an industrial type business. There's communities out there that have a bigger industrial base than what we do. It's something we want to build. But what we can offer is we can offer the residential side, which is important for them to be able to recruit employment. So, and we've got that with the schools, with the parks, with the communities. That's the sell point. That's the sell point on all three of them businesses. And so you look at Blue Track 10, Scale Tech, 30 to 50, depending on the next 5 years. The company looking at Bennett, looking at 150. So 150 jobs, 50 jobs. See, and then like I say, we moved into town from outside and we've been growing, we're 130. So in the matter of 3 years, Anamosa is going to raise their job count inside the community by 300 jobs or 350 jobs in 5 years. I mean, that's a big kudos to being able to attract, and they're looking at how the city acts. So like I say, I know the numbers are big, but keep in mind when you guys have been a very positive group moving forward with this and having a community focus and growth. So don't look past it. What you're doing is working like really well and fast. So it's a group effort and a community effort, but we got some awesome stuff going on that, and it's being, a lot of it is this project, the downtown project, people looking at it and saying, okay, we're gonna make something happen, and they're jumping on. I mean, to get one company with 50 jobs in a small town is huge. To pull in that type of effort where you can say in 5 years you'll pull in over 300, that don't happen in a town of 5,000. So it's exciting, and we got a good spot, good attitude. So that's kind of my stuff. One other thing, like the lake going to the west on the project, that there is so there's two options once it crosses the creek, and they got to be looked at a little bit more. That's the ADCO property. Been working with them on different designs over the years. That is all concept platted over there to develop lots down through off Dakota, and then to hook up there to Knoll. The question becomes how we hook to Knoll. If we bend around and you around that house, or if that house would ever become available and we could straight shot it and stuff. So there's some little things there, but there'll be some development back and forth. The lake going to the west is going to be part of the development of the future of that property. So whether it's between, land acquisitions for the project or a development agreement on that property, there's going to be some work back and forth. So, because obviously we want to see the community keep going and growing with it. So there's going to be some different give and takes on that from us as a developer side as well to get that connectivity rolling along there. So. But
Thank you.
that's a lot of
I think you
rambling.
provided a lot of information that folks are going to want to hear. Thank you.
So any questions anybody has, or like I say, it's been a fun project because it's just been more community effort than I've been able to see all the way across from, council, Rod Mayer, Beth has been big on helping with just the details of getting stuff together for us. And then you got a lot of community support, and that's a big deal. And out of community with the businesses coming in. So I'll quit rambling.
Thanks, Bryce.
Thank you, Bryce. Very good.
Thanks, Bryce.
We don't need to do
I would hope, I mean, I believe the council probably had gotten some answers. There's a lot of information bounced around. The agenda item is with the engineer, Schneider's. Tim or Lindsay, do you have anything further to add?
No, I don't think so. Guess it just depends on how the city would like to move forward with this project. If there's anything we can provide to you guys, you know, we'd be more than willing to do that.
Well, let me ask you this, Tim. If I recall, the last meeting you said we've already expended our $100,000.
Yes,
Is that correct?
yes, that is correct.
So we have to decide whether or not we want to, at some point, proceed and expend more money with you, or what our next option is, correct?
Yeah, I believe that's the way the agreement is written with the city and Snyder.
Okay.
Shane, do you have some things to add?
Shane Brown, Street Department. Yeah, I was wondering if we couldn't, like on that bridge project, we couldn't add on-off ramps to that to make it more accessible.
I can't hear you, Shane.
Yeah, I think the batteries on that mic are dead.
All right. So this is Shane Brown with the Streets Department. I was wondering if we can't make this a bridge.
Shane, you're a little too loud now.
Yeah, right there. Okay, so I want to know if we can make the on and off ramps on that bridge and like have the state help us pay for that bridge. That's a question I have for accessibility, more accessibility, and then also for safety for kids leaving school, you know, so they have a accelerator lane or a lane just to get off so they don't have to get off at 70 mile an hour. Also too, down there where there's two houses and we've cut that road off on Dubuque, you've got a new road to it. The road that's already there is really in good shape. I was just out there 2 days ago. And so if we eliminate that road to the east, that little short one for two houses, that should save us a ton of money too. But I'm looking at, I'm hoping, and I don't know, but I just like to know if we could get like some state help on that bridge. If we could do on-off ramps.
So, I don't know if this got brought up before, but Lindsay had mentioned that the DOT said that if there were an on-off ramp to be put there, let's see, it's too close to the next exit down. So I don't even know if they would allow that or not.
It just seems kind of crazy. We're gonna spend what, 200 some million on a bridge we can't get off of. Only on one side of the road, and you got to go through a ton of residential on both sides to get on and off. That's just me. Maybe we need to move it up the road a little further, closer to the old American or something. I don't know. It's just a thought. I used to drive truck over the road, so getting in and out of places where you don't have to cross traffic. You know, you got these businesses coming in and out with semis. They're gonna have to cross traffic up by Boomerang now. I mean, now you're looking at another bad intersection. So anyway, that's all I had was if we could get rid of that one street down there where Old Dubuque Road is, because that's a pretty good road. and not screw up those two houses and have a lot of money into a road there, and then also that bridge. Other than that, I mean, the project looks great, and I'm pretty excited about the whole thing. Just not so excited about that bridge, not being able to get on and off of it. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Shane. Well, from what I remember in meetings that I sat in on, the DOT did believe that any type of interchange at this overpass was too close to the current. And the feasibility to move the overpass more to the north, they would only favor moving it all the way to basically to the top of the hill and creating a complete interchange. So it was looked at, and those were some of the reasons that it was ruled out. Any other public comment? 7.1 on our agenda is just discussion. I don't see any action there. Beth, am I correct in that?
Yeah, they were just giving an update.
Okay. Well, Tim, thanks for your update on the Sycamore Street 151 projects.
Yeah, thank you guys.
There's nothing further. I'll move to 7.2, discussion possible action on STDG funding application for the 151 grade separation project. Lindsay Beeman, Tim Wallace with Snyder Associates.
So as part of, so this is the funding application for the 1.326 million for this US 151 overpass project. In order, we need to include meeting minutes of the council discussion with the application itself. So I guess I'll open it back up to the council if there's any questions on the application.
And again, for clarity, Tim, this is money that is already set aside that the city of Anamosa could allocate to this project.
Yeah, that was my understanding when talking with Mary with ECOG.
This is kind of a side question, but as far as this project goes, I mean, it's going to be levied against city property that we have the authority to do that. But am I correct in saying that there's going to be no significant at all county kick in on this?
None that I know of.
I mean, I know they helped with some of the preliminary concepts with the engineering, but I don't know. Sure be nice if they could help us out a little bit since it's benefiting the county too.
But it's all in the city limits. Pretty
Yes,
much.
it is.
It is all.
It's all from city limits, and that's that. I'm just thinking out loud.
On behalf of the county, they have done a lot of the upfront work that is not, it just hasn't come at a cost to the city. So that was that partnership that was injected into this between the city and the county. The city knowing that their costs were going to come on the back end where the counties was coming on the front. I very much appreciate the county's efforts of putting this project together and getting it to the phases it is now.
One other thing, when this project's done through the annexation and the easement, there's gonna be made an island in there, which by law, animals will hold. The county is gonna be what about another.
Hey, Bryce,
Could we say that into the mic or have somebody repeat what he said?
Annexation
I was
is
just,
gonna have to be voluntary.
This is Bruce Rickliffs. I was just talking to Rod about one thing with the county on this. Through the project, there's going to be some, once the project's completed and then some more of the property that right there is annexed, it'll make an island, which by law should bring in, I think, right, Beth, on that?
So
It creates an island, so some of that comes in.
the only way we would be annexing that property is if, say, the golf course voluntarily annexes, then it would force an 80-20 with the other properties. But right now, it does not create an island because there's one piece of property
Yeah, but
that's
I own
not.
that. I own that
The-
40 acres, so if I bring it in,
There's one house.
I own all around it.
Okay. So then it would be an island. We would still have to do the 80-20, so we'd have to have 80% of the property voluntarily annexed to bring the other part in. But yeah,
That was one thing the county was looking at, was that they would lose that tax base.
right. So they would lose mainly agricultural at this time because it should,
That all annexed in.
right. But taxed at ag value,
Yeah, golf course, the old Asbill property, Shada's, woods.
right,
storage. Quite a bit of
with
tax
those.
value.
Okay.
So Bryce and Rich and Jeff, I'm not sure if you heard all that.
did not.
Bryce was just referring to the possibility of future annexation that could occur from current city limits into the 151 project. There's adjacent
Right.
property that could be annexed in the future. That's all he was referring to.
Okay. Yeah, that I knew.
So what action do we need to take here? Just approving?
Yep.
That this STPG fund, we would be willing to accept?
To do the final part of the application.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to authorize them to make the application for the STBG funding app.
Second,
Okay, we have a motion by Rich, second by Kay, to move forward with the STBG funding application for the 151 grade separation project. Any further discussion from council? Any public comment? Beth, will you conduct a roll call, please?
Zumba,
Yes.
Mockart,
Yes.
Smith,
yes,
Crump,
Yes,
Stout,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Motion carried unanimous. Tim, I kept referring to you and Lindsay, but you may have been flying solo there this evening.
I'm
thank you.
here.
Oh, hi, Lindsay. Never heard a word out of you.
I'm trying to let Tim have his freedom to speak because he knows what's going on, but I'm here just in case.
Well, then I want to thank both of you for being in attendance tonight. Appreciate your work.
Yeah. no
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Move to 7.3, update and possible action on hotel motel tax funds and funding requests.
so Beth?
Yeah.
Am I reading this right? We came up short 12,192 in our hotel motel tax revenue?
For last year?
Yes, for fiscal year 20.
Correct.
So we had to take that amount of money out of general fund to cover?
Yes, which actually on your allocation, part of those come out of general fund anyway.
Right, but not all. I mean, if we were, weren't we,
You
what we
only,
have figured, what we have
Yeah.
figured for the hotel motel expenditures total?
for last year, you had 55, hold on a second.
55,760.
That was requested for 21, 40,000 for last year.
Okay.
for
But
hotel.
we also supplied a certain percentage of that to the Parks and Rec.
Correct, 20,000. So we were at 60,000 altogether, and we were at 62.8.
Okay, so we had enough to cover
We did.
then. Okay,
Yeah, the 75,000's, budgeting best guess.
so going forward with the requested of 69,285, what is your estimation of what we're going to be receiving for fiscal year 21?
So I don't think we'll be too far off from last year. Just because last year we had the last quarter of last year was the first part of COVID, where we only got the $2,000. So this year we're kind of, you can kind of see where the numbers are that we're past that a little bit. And we're actually fund wise pretty close to the same as what we were last year at this time. Hopefully we don't have anything drastic happen like COVID again in the last quarter. So we should be, I don't think we'll make the 76,000 we've projected. Is the only thing. I think we'll probably end up around 60 again as well.
Well, I just know that when I saw after the derecho, a lot of those people staying were workers, and now they're done.
Correct.
I don't know if they're filling up again like that.
I think we should have a little bit of overflow still from the derecho, just because we probably have a lot of, roofers and different people maybe still in the area, towards the beginning of the quarter we're in now. Like September, it was in August. Another thing is like on this, on our resolution for allocating funds, like the hometown pride, that one actually comes out of local option sales tax. So, I mean, for future reference, I'd like to break this resolution down a little bit differently, just because that one really didn't come out of the general fund. It was more or less local option sales tax.
Yeah, I would like to see this broken down by what's coming out of general, what's coming out of hotel motel.
Right.
Yeah,
If they were at least grouped together, like
that would be very
the first
helpful.
part of
Yeah.
it's hotel motel, this part of it's local option, this part's general fund.
Just to make it easier to follow and read instead of having to go through and decipher which one's which.
Yeah.
I agree.
I like that.
And generally, we took the Jones County Economic Development out of general fund. And I'm not quite sure why. So Jacob had moved that one into a hotel motel. So that's what throws our number off by so much, by that $10,000 between 20 and 21. So I mean, if we put that back in general fund, you've pretty much covered what you had allocated. We just have to see if we get the other 20,000 to cover our, our money we want to transfer to, Park and Rec. And on a bright note, we do have a lot more local option sales tax money. So if needed, we could always, they could use that for some needed repairs with the Lawrence Center as well. As far as covering that 20,000. Usually it's for a project or just to keep the programs going. But even in FY20, local option sales tax was, we exceeded it by almost $70,000. That's 68,145. And this year's quite a bit higher.
That makes things a lot more clear. I like the idea of breaking this down like you were talking.
Yeah. And our resolution for our local option sales tax does, that 65% portion of it is kind of directed towards downtown, commercial and business. And a lot of what Derek does for us is actually for the downtown and commercial. So technically we could probably move him to local option sales tax as well.
Okay.
So I don't really feel I feel pretty confident that we're fine with what we've allocated. And I know that most of those places are desperate or, haven't gotten the funds they generally get this year. Or been able to be open, probably, some of them.
So is it your recommendation and suggestion to just leave as is?
Yeah, if, as long as you're comfortable with it. I'm definitely very comfortable with where the numbers are right now. I was a little worried about the deratio, numbers, that it would come in that high. It was more than I was expecting.
Is the council looking to take any action on 7.3 then, as far as modifications? Or as the suggestion to just leave it as is?
You're pretty confident that we'll be back at close to our budgeted income on that?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're confident, I'll move to keep it in place then.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Rich, second by Alan. Leave the hotel motel tax funds requests as they are. Any further discussion? Beth, would you conduct the roll?
Crump,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lockhart,
Yeah.
Zumba,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Capron,
Yeah,
Motion carries unanimous. 8.0, new business. 8.1, review and approval of the City of Anamosa procurement policy required for federal grant funds.
So this was sent to me by our caseworker for our COVID reimbursement and our deratio reimbursement. It's just a policy that they recommend. It kind of covers some federal guidelines with procurement. Which aren't, I don't think anything in here is too far off from what we already do. It's just has a few it has a little bit different phrasing, which is what they like to see.
we would have to adopt to receive any type of federal funding.
Yeah. Otherwise, everything else they asked for, we already have in place. This was the only thing. And I think actually we've ran into this with a couple of different FEMA grants through the fire department where they've asked for this and we haven't had it in the past. So yeah, so this will check off a few other things too.
So this in no way replaces our purchasing.
No. This would
Okay.
be in addition. This is more in line with federal guidelines.
Okay, so this is in addition to what we already have for,
Correct.
okay. Well, I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
We have a motion by Rich, second by John, to approve the procurement policy that is required for federal grant funds. Any further discussion? Beth?
Zumba,
Yes.
Mockart,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes,
Crump,
Yes,
Stout,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Motion carried unanimous. 8.2, resolution hiring and setting salary for street superintendent.
move to approve.
Second.
second,
A motion by Kay, second by Allen. Any further discussion? Beth, roll vote?
Mockart,
Yes.
Crump,
yes,
Smith,
Yes,
Zumba,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Motion to approve carried unanimous. 8.3, review and approval of November 2020 treasurer's report.
move to approve.
Second.
A motion by Rich, second by Galen. Any further discussion? Beth?
Mockart,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Smith,
yes,
Crump,
Yes,
Motion to approve carried unanimous. 8.4, review and approval of current bills. I do have one inquiry. Reese Electric for air compressors, 14,632. Was this single air compressor,
two
two?
air compressors that do the drying at the wastewater plant.
Both were for wastewater.
Yep.
Yes, 'cause my next question then is the air compressors that were on site, did we retain them? Were they completely obsolete, no longer usable?
So Dave Carson, wastewater. Our old ones failed. They're part of the blower system that actually mixes everything up. We had one go down. So we looked into one, but you just don't get one because it's a redundant system. One goes down, you have to have the other one. So basically one went down and then overworked the other one. We're waiting on this for your guys' budgeting. So it ended up being a tool. I don't know how he wrote it off, but
Oh,
it's a tool for the plant.
it's in operations equipment.
So the two that were being used are.
They're obsolete.
Yeah,
We
no
still have
good.
them.
They couldn't be repaired as a backup to anything.
Well, then you run into that expense of trying to rebuild the heads on it. And then you just, they had the expense of doing that. It's not worth it. These are not a rotary one. These are piston. They're in the blower room.
So they're not for the aeration.
For the blower, that's what actually mixes up all of the system.
But it's not for the aeration that the rotary do. Isn't that what the rotary?
We can't hear either Galen or,
Sorry. I just had a question. I'm sorry. It's fine.
I'm sorry, you are absolutely correct. This is for all your air valves on the plant.
Okay,
And then that controls your mixing from the blowers.
okay.
You're absolutely right.
So that was a have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It controls the plant itself.
Second inquiry I had, we're not all that far removed from the derecho, but we have a 22,740 payable out to size trees. Will that finalize everything from the derecho, or will we be seeing expenditures come back in the spring?
Nope, we should be done. We're done with Cy. He's done the removals and the stump grindings. And Shane and the guys have gotten dirt and filled in where they ground the stumps. And I am working on the FEMA claim for reimbursement for those.
And this was recent work, or was just?
Yeah, he just finished up.
Trying to catch up.
No, it's been in October and a little.
Shot me a bid on all the stones. And, so we wanted to.
Hey, I can't hear this. Somebody's got to
yeah,
get up.
you got,
I thought that was loud enough. Okay, Shane with the street department. Okay, so on the stump grindings, Cy said he would do so much per stump. If it was a little stump, it was gonna be so much. If it was a big stump, it was so much. I think that bill came in, what, 7? It was like 7 or 8,000.
It should be on there too.
Anyway, that was 69 stumps. That was ground out. And then we had to dig them out and then put dirt back in. And I think there was like $400 or $500 worth of dirt that I bought from Weber Stone. Everything's got dirt in it now and it's been seeded. So we are done with the ratio, as far as I know. Not to say that there's not a tree out here that we missed or we didn't see, but if FEMA comes in and pays us, we'll have money back in the account to take that tree down.
Good deal.
So I wasn't trying to spend our money, but I couldn't buy something for what he charged to do 69 stumps.
Thanks, Shane. That's all I had.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Kay, second by Allen to approve the bills as submitted. Further discussion?
Capron,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Motion to approve carried unanimous. 10.0 Mayor and Council's report. 10.1 Mayor's reports.
You missed city administrator report, or does she not have one?
Oh, I flipped the page. I'm sorry. 9.0 City Administrator's report.
The new website is live. Still some bugs. We've lost some photos and some different things. And so we're still working on things, but at least it's live and it's up and going. And for the most part, it looks good. Working on still getting our data and everything for the new accounting system. It's been slowed up. We're still trying, still working on that. I did have a few applications for city clerk. May want to do an interview later this week, possibly special meeting for it. If you're all available, I'll give you more details when I get them. Other than that, everything's going pretty well. still working on the budget. Need to focus on that a little bit more.
Does council have any questions or comments for Beth?
So you advertise for a city clerk or?
I did. So I ran an ad last Thursday. And got a few spattering of inquiries.
Okay, because I know last meeting we talked about having a plan for your replacement. I just didn't know that you had gone ahead and ran an ad.
Yes. So yes.
What sites did you run ads? Or
So I'm not sure which websites pick up those ads when you run them. But yeah, I just ran a regular newspaper ad and posted a job description and stuff at City Hall as well. I did set the bar fairly high, so as far as experience and specific job experience.
Is there any online avenues that we can post it to if we need more time after these interviews?
Yeah, absolutely. So I just kind of it was mainly just a fishing experiment at this point because I wasn't sure what kind of response we'd get because I did ask for a significant amount of city experience with especially our fund accounting and experience in a city that's has a certain level too, because we have unique things that other small towns don't have. But yeah, we can expand it if it doesn't work, or actually different route to go possibly would be hiring someone part-time that was a retired city clerk that wasn't exactly looking to be totally out of work at this time. I did have a few recommendations from Pat Callahan and kind of went that route. So yeah, no, nothing's set. We can always do something else too.
No, sounds like you got a plan.
Give it some time and see what happens.
Mhm.
anything else for Beth? Anyone? All right. Now I will move to 10.0, Mayor and Council Report, 10.1 Mayor's Report. Any time of the year is best to shop locally, but this year especially with the current environment and what local businesses and entrepreneurs have had to endure with holiday shopping in full swing. I encourage those looking for retail merchandise, services, food, beverages to support the Anamosa businesses. Whether this is in the form of a carry-out item, off-the-shelf merchandise, gift certificates, or gift cards, your patronage would be immensely appreciated on the local level. Also want to make a note that the holiday decorations downtown, city and from the private sector are very impressive. It is almost like a sad of a time as we are in with what's going on the net, globally. It sure is impressive to see that display downtown. The Hometown Pride Group has met. The KIB grant application, Keep Iowa Beautiful. They can be submitted. Shelley with Parks and Rec is planning on applying for an application for the grant. Catalyst grants are due by January 29th, 2021. So those can be used in the downtown business sector. It's my understanding that any of those building owners that are part of the CDBG cannot apply for the catalyst grant, but others, the other owners can. The God Bless America sculpture, there's a group that is in the process of bringing that to Anamosa in the spring to have it here for the Rag Bride. That is still scheduled. Anamosa scheduled stop for next summer. But this group is also looking to bring it here, bring Grant Wood statue to its final resting place, that being in Anamosa. There's a group looking at funding and seeing what that will take to make that happen. It's still rather infancy stage, but they are pursuing that. The Hometown Pride Group will be putting at some point a presentation to bring to the council for review of a alley seating area. They're also, on a different note, the Wapsie Trail has received $130,000 worth of funding, which will complete that final phase 2. So they're going to work collaboratively to incorporate the signage with that company that we just kind of retained. So they're going to work with each other. On December 18th and 19th, the chamber director is quarterbacking this Luminaire Nights. So these will be battery operated illuminations. Planning to do it from 4:30 to 9 on the downtown walk area. Hometown Pride is in support of this event. The objective for this is foot traffic to support local downtown businesses. You can view the declarations that I had spoke about earlier. I know that the businesses are happy, are very excited about this event to produce that foot traffic in and out of their stores.
Do you have a time on that?
The illumination is going to be from 4:30 to 9.
Thank you.
I don't have anything else to report. Unless you have questions for me. If not, 10.2, council reports.
Solid waste met first, but pretty much just simple meeting, paid the bills. That's all I really got to report.
Nothing wrong getting the bills paid.
Yep.
Yeah, emergency management, same thing as getting PPE. Hopefully these shots coming out, this will slow down need for this. It's gonna be a while, but the big thing Brenda has is tough time getting stuff in for everyone that needs it.
Parks and Rec has not met the last couple months just with COVID and everything. I don't know specifics, but obviously the actual tree walk isn't going to happen. I don't know if it would have been already passed, but she was talking of doing a virtual type tree walk for the businesses and vendors.
It's up.
What's that?
It's up.
Mhm.
Is it up? Okay.
They're also doing a fundraiser. They're selling cookie in a jar, cookie mix in a jar, and cocoa mix in a jar that you can order and pick up the last week in December.
Any other reports? If not, 11.0, Public comment for items not on the agenda. Rebecca, are you seeing any hand raising on your end?
I am not. I have pulled up the LCC virtual tree walk if you guys want to see that at this time, or I can share it when the meeting is over.
Council?
Go for it.
Okay. So I found this simply by Googling LCC tree walk. It's a Google site. I believe there's also links that they're putting on, they've put on their Facebook page. So this is the welcome page. You go up to the top and tap on virtual tree walk. And that brings you to a lovely little slideshow that they've put together. And I think they're still adding trees to it. Some of them have videos. Some of them just have pictures on them. Let's see if I can get to the next slide. There we go. I think earlier today there was over 20 slides. A lot that you'll recognize from tree walks in the past. They also have a talent tab that if you, you can still submit songs and other things, I think, at this time, but there's videos that have been uploaded here from a lot of different groups in the community and other soloists. So you can listen to those at some point if you'd like. And then there was mention of the vendors that you could support. So they are listed on the vendors page. And I believe this is also where, yeah, the LCC's Mason Jar fundraiser is listed. Lots of other good things that you would normally see at the live tree walk on this page. So I think that's basically all there is here, but certainly encourage people to go visit that. There's some lovely stuff here. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Very nice. For those that have worked diligently to put that together, very nice job. It's thinking outside the box and moving with the time we're in. Nothing else. A motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by John, second by Rich. All in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to adjourn carried unanimous. Thanks, council.